whatever you want, which I feel that you do.
I do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of disappointed is isn't here because he was like waiting because he wanted to say hi, and he was like because he
Aw.
thinks you are the funniest person to exist in human existence. Because I didn't ever also realize. Oh, by the way, this is Diggity Dean Dane Sampson. She doesn't know I've been recording for like the last 60 seconds, so uh, that's a different approach. I'm Diggity Dean Dane Sampson, or whatever you feel like calling me. If you really know me,
Okay.
I'm trying to just trying to chill more in Daner's world, which I do whatever I want there too. You know what I'm saying? This is
Period.
the one and only Malice, who is one of, and I got to get out of the habit of saying one of my favorite Cincinnati artists. You're just one of my favorite artists. Okay.
Aw.
Yeah, and I'm trying to really break that habit because I have to also realize I don't live there anymore. I also am getting talking to and getting in touch with like artists that aren't from Cincinnati, and I as long as you know, uh I'm trying to break that. I will home will always be home. It'll always be there for better or worse, but there's a whole big ass world out there and I'm trying to explore it. So
It
anyway,
is.
Malace, I met you. Um, I met you when you came to my open mic, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that for me, that was super dope because, first of all, like I had just gotten back to Cincinnati after living last year in Florida, and those hurricanes. And when you came through, I will tell you, like I knew some people there. I would say initially, at least for this couple weeks, a lot of those artists I had never met before, never, and then you came through and performed on that rooftop with like assless chaps on, and I was like,
Yeah.
who
Oh
is
my God.
that? And then
Yeah.
you sang beautifully, so that was my exposure, and I think the position that I have found myself fortunate enough in is someone who's like a curator and someone that tries to provide as many and as much platforms as I can for artists or just human beings. Um,
Hmm.
if I get to experience an art, especially a music artist, live for the first time and they kill it, that sticks with you. It truly does. So, uh, how about you? You look lovely today. What is that on your shirt? Is that cheetahs and mushrooms?
It's cheetahs and monkeys.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to, dude?
Oh my God. So yeah, let's just go back to the open mic on the
Yeah, when we
rooftop.
met.
After that, I've met a few different people in the music scene in Cincinnati. Shout out to Ria Bella, she's great.
Raya.
Araya,
Raya.
um, Magnif.
Mm-hmm.
I've met Siri Imani. I've met a lot of people, um, and it has been really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think my favorite aspect of like performing in the city is just the fact that we have so much talent here.
It's
Like
amazing.
it's nice to be able to see my neighbors like
Yeah.
coming out and I'm like, wait, you make music, what is,
Yeah.
like even my coworkers coming out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um I've been making music by myself recently though.
Mm-hmm. I know.
um I started in the city going to Deadridge Studios. That was like my introduction. Like honestly, I would be there every day pretty much after work trying to get a session in, trying to, and I
Yeah.
think that if I hadn't gone there, I definitely wouldn't have gotten the experience with working in the studio and
Yeah.
even um inspiration to work on my own music, which I have been doing, engineering my own music and just trying to figure out where my lane is, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. And I feel like, even though Dead Rich and a lot of artists go there, I feel like that is a good starter studio.
Mhm.
There's different levels of engineers there. You can kind of all find your flavor, but it's just a house. And even like the fashion that they do in the back is really cool. Um,
Yeah.
I wish they would do more fashion for big boys. I try to feel their items on, and I was like, I'm not comfortable enough to wear a crop top, guys.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I've kind of watched that, and I've watched your growth. You and your performances too. Like, we got to see you like this, like as much as your music. Like you came, you're like, hey guys, I'm gonna try something new. And we're like, yay! And then you would have these like elaborate outfits or this elaborate hair, and it was like hard to not like take your eyes off, like I, because you're a very attractive young woman.
Thank you.
So you're kind of stuck on that for a second, and then you're like, oh shit, that's actually a good song. And then I think what really the first time it really blew my mind is when you came and performed at Radio Artifact at my open mic.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite performance. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie,
when
I
that
love
red
that one.
light hit you, and like just the way, shout out to Andrew who was running the stuff. He is so talented, and Lantana and I were talking about that last week. That just venue in Cincinnati is just a hidden gem. It is a full music movie level production studio,
It
and
is.
that's the thing though. Like, so it can make you look like $1 million, or unfortunately, it's such good equipment. You could also not look so great, and
Yeah.
and I try and tell people again. Flynn and I were talking about it too. Like when you come on a platform or on a stage or on a podcast, look your best, unless that's your aesthetic. You know what I mean? Which is like but don't don't look like you're on drugs. Don't look like you've drank too much. Like I've had a few drinks too many when I'm hosting, and you could tell by the end of the show. Like the energy of the show changes. You know what I mean?
It does.
So I was talking about the other day, like that. I think my favorite track, and I was saying that by yours, is "Burn." I
Mhm.
love that song. It's such an emotional song. Ian actually cried when he heard it. Uh,
Oh my gosh.
that's what music should do, though. It should evoke emotion. Do you care to tell me a little bit of the story behind "Burn"?
Yes. Oh my god. So it's so crazy. Right now I'm in my apartment. I the day I wrote that song, I was feeling a little lonely. I walked outside, went to the park, it's just right next to my house, and then I came back, and on that walk I wrote that song, and I cried. I did. I was crying so fucking hard, and I was so determined to go home and actually make a song
Mm-hmm.
that helped me process whatever I was feeling at the time. And honestly, that song is really it's really deep for me because for the past couple months, even throughout all the performances, I've definitely have been feeling so lonely. And I think that it just happens when you reach, your 20s and you're trying to find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have those points in life where you have options to hang around certain people, but you
Mm-hmm.
really just don't feel fulfilled or you really just
Yeah.
don't see the need to. So
Yeah.
you just have to spend a lot of time by yourself, I think, to truly find out who you are and what you
Mm-hmm.
like.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that journey. As far as like the lyrics though, I do want to go into.
Yeah.
Um
Please
so I know I said
take your time.
aside of the loneliness part,
Yeah.
the I had recently tried, going back into dating again, and that is a lot. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, the dating pool is full of piss." You know what I mean? It's
No,
just shitty. It's just da 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 da.
or maybe that's
And
just them
I mean,
to a point.
I think it's both ways. I think people have different understandings and are not able to communicate, what exactly they want.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people do try to force what they want onto
Mm-hmm.
people. So you just have a blend of people who just don't know what's going on.
Right.
And it just causes a lot of discourse. I
Mm-hmm.
think that within writing that song, I learned that it's okay to just release what isn't for you. It's okay to feel hurt by releasing that.
Yeah.
It's okay to be alone, and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to find strength in letting all that shit go. Because once you let it burn, baby, it's
Yeah.
done. You don't have to revisit it anymore.
Correct. Yeah. You know what? There's actually a song by an artist named Cam, uh, and she has a song called I'm pretty sure it's Burn, but it gave me vibes. No, it's Burning House. Burning House, which you should. It's one of my favorite country songs,
Hmm.
but very very similar concept. Like she's talking about burning the house down because otherwise she can't leave this man. You know what I mean? As much as she wants to,
Exactly.
people don't change. Uh, Very rarely. You know what I mean? And I will tell you, I'm 40, so um, where you're talking about where you have pockets of loneliness, that doesn't stop. It just, you know what I mean? Like, so we're always evolving as humans, and we're gonna have, especially in our field where we're in entertainment and this and that, you're going to have people come in and out of your life that might, you might share a moment with them that's truly deeply impactful and never talk to them again. You know what I mean? Or you started a project that you know was going to be great, and it for whatever reason it just doesn't go forward, and then you feel like you wasted your time and you're jaded and like, and I tell people this all the time, like at the end of the day, we all started out as fans of music, okay? And don't let that flame extinguish. Even if you are the artist, the moment it stops becoming fun for you is the moment that joy of your life is in danger of being lost. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I mean. Like, well, and you can even do it like even if with emotional music. Like, I wouldn't say you could change the term fun, but you're enjoying making it. Whether it's, because music is therapy. Whether you're the artist making and performing it, or you're the consumer listening and fan listening to it. And I
Right.
think what some people need to understand, and I'm trying to. This is a new topic I'm trying to. It's okay for us to be just fans of each other, and support each other. And even if we're just fans, I can still, if I can do something that can help you, and vice versa, that's okay. But it doesn't always have to bleed over into our personal life and become this fictitious or fake friendship. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Oh my God. Clock that. Because this is something that I've been wanting to talk about as far as the music scene in Cincinnati, which I'm sure this happens in any other city, in
Yeah,
any
yeah,
other country,
yeah,
but the whole fan and support and stuff like that, like one thing I am grateful for is that I actually met you because I do feel like you believe in upward mobility. But there are a lot of artists here which I feel like they don't they don't walk with enough confidence within themselves. And when I say enough confidence, I don't mean that they don't believe in their own music and that it's not good. I mean confidence as in Beyonce could walk through the room right now, but I know that I'm confident in the fact that she's beautiful, she's great, she's
mm,
solid, everybody loves her, but I also know that there's capacity for me as well. And I just don't believe
yeah,
that so far I've met a lot of artists in the city, which breaks my heart, that believe they have the capacity to be loved and love
yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, and then you also get, unfortunately, you get some artists that are 10, 15 years and in our eyes, in that small city setting, we think they're the biggest thing there is. And in reality, they're not much farther than we are, or people that are at the beginning of that journey. They might have more know-how, they might have more connections, they might have a bigger team, but they're still just, you know, and I say this because I was able to come back after a year gone, no presence in Cincinnati at all whatsoever, and come back and do what I did in a short amount of time just because I applied myself. You know what I'm saying? And I
Exactly.
appealed, and and it's not like people are acting like and I don't do it for the money. I don't. A lot of that stuff I pay out of pocket for. Even at Radio Artifact, I split. We got paid $200. I split that. We paid $100. That was, how much work that was to put together, but the
And it
reward,
was it was worth it.
it was worth it, and the reward was being able to have a place for people like you and a talent and a real spectrum, and or even at the Vic, you have people that are like, they're like, I didn't even know I could come here. I'm like, it's a public hotel. Anybody can come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just they feel like they're not welcome. And I'm like, you are the actual members of this community. You know what I mean? Like, just,
I do want to say,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to say one of our artists in Cincinnati, Waco,
I love
Swami,
Waco.
you find him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He was the one who actually DM'd me and was like, because I had just left an open mic that
Hmm.
night.
Yeah.
He DM'd me and he was like, "You should come over here." So without if he didn't let me know to come, I probably would have never came and that would have never happened for me. And
Yeah.
I think that networking and actually making friends,
Hmm.
and like I said, it goes into the capacity part. Having the capacity to have the confidence to know, hey, I know I'm loved. I know I got what I need. There's no reason why I shouldn't also share that. And that goes into
Hmm.
support because I
Yeah.
feel like when people start nitpicking their support, it's like, what's the point? Because if you're gonna sit here and be like, well, they only shared my stories on Instagram or
Yeah.
they only shared my stuff on
You
Facebook,
gotta
I'm
get
just
past
gonna,
that. You gotta get past
yeah,
that.
you
That's
gotta
shit
get
personal.
it's really tit for tat. It's
Yeah.
like
Because honestly, if it is personal, they'll let you know. They'll let you know, or they won't. But if like you're no, they won't. I'm not. I didn't get that correct.
they won't.
They
Like,
won't. I mean, some of them I will. I will, but I don't think I'm like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You know.
right.
I mean, even in that, I mean, like some of the
Am I able to calm down for a quick second?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on.
You you want to keep talking?
Of course.
Yeah. So
Of
we'll just
course.
keep the episode. You can do whatever you want. You could. um,
Okay.
but like I know everything is conditional, but like I feel like you either I love how you just muted that. Sorry. Everything is condition has conditions, but like like I think what part of it is with Cincinnati and it's where it's very clicky is
Oh yeah.
like I might have an issue with one individual person, and
Mm-hmm.
honestly, what I'm having with that person may have nothing to do with anybody else. But like they're
Right.
like, if you say something to that person, they're like, you got 30 people coming at you, and I'm like, y'all are really taking this out of proportion. All I did was match that person's audacity. You know what I'm saying?
Very
That's
much
all the
so.
fuck I
Very
did
much
was
so.
match this person's audacity, and y'all are falling to shambles over it. Like I thought y'all were tougher than that.
Yeah,
Especially
I
when you
don't
deliver it in a I don't in a not disrespectful way. I'm like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the fucking issue here? But
I think I think that because of like that just goes into how clicks are. I think so. I used to know someone, specifically I did Rich, and
mm,
he explained to me why everything is so clicky.
mm,
And I think that everyone starts the same way.
mm,
And I think that we forget that we start the same way.
yeah,
I do think a little bit of luck goes into it as far as like who makes it out. But
yeah,
at the same time, you just got to follow the process.
mm-hmm,
And I think that it's not far fetched to say that people don't experience jealousy or people don't experience like hurt feelings and stuff like
mm-hmm,
that. And they just carry all of that and
mm-hmm,
they like keep it within the group.
yeah,
Like, oh, yeah, it's just, we're just going to stay together because we're all hurt or we're all trying or we're
yeah,
all, and this is the reason why we're close rather than we're close because we actually like have a love and understanding of why we're even close.
yeah. Correct, correct. And then I also think like it's one sided support. Like I've had times where people they want to get in, like we're just fans or we're just work professional colleagues, maybe just for this one day a week or this one event. And my thing is, it's like me specifically. I can't speak for anyone else, but most of what I do, if I'm at the house at this point, especially over the last year, it's being documented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I sit down, the camera's on. You know, anything that anyone can expose about me that they think they can, I've pretty much exposed myself because I call it the 8 Mile rule or like the 8 Mile effect. If I already put it out there, how can you use it against me? You know what I'm saying? And if you do, then you just kind of look silly. But my thing is like, don't interject yourself in my personal life if you ain't really gonna do nothing after that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or what's the point? It's just making me see you as someone I can't, whose word doesn't hold much value. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't. People's words I've learned because I'm 23 now.
Mm,
I turned 23 in August, and I've just learned that for the past 2 years since I've been here, people's words are very shallow, and it's really for the moment.
mm,
And once you find someone whose words ascend beyond that moment, I think those are people that you are supposed to invest in
yes.
because you know people are just gonna say whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
that's one thing I've stopped performing
Hmm.
because of that. I've stopped performing because it's got messy out
Yeah.
here in these streets. Okay, it's,
Cincinnati's
I don't know
wild
how much
right
I can
now.
deal with the mess.
Hey, wild right now. So I want to touch base on one of your fun things that you've been doing. I don't know what app that is. What is it? InShot or whatever?
Oh, like for the
Yeah, your
videos and
voiceovers
stuff.
and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Hilarious. How do you even pick those? Give me some sauce because I think I would be good at that.
Oh yeah, so basically, yeah, you can do CapCut or InShot. I prefer InShot.
Mm-hmm.
You take a well, I use a screen recorder too.
Okay.
So I screen record the content and
Mm-hmm.
then I put it in the app. And in InShot they have a feature where you can like separate the audio from the video.
Yeah.
So you just
I
record
got you.
over
Okay.
what
I
you
see
want.
it. I might fool around with it a little bit. It seems like it would be
It's
fun.
really it's so easy. It's so fun.
It
Like I love
looks
it.
fun. So are you currently working on any projects? I feel like you're always
Um,
working on some. Like you treat music like your diary, and I love it.
Yes. So right now I am into my lick back era. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see my bio. Um, my friends don't date women abusers. Stream lick back. Because that's exactly where I am right now
Okay.
in my journey of growing into the young woman that I
Is that
am.
hold on?
And
I'm sorry. Is that the my friends don't date women abusers? Is that the name of the title or what? What the fuck? What? Oh, your
it's my
friends.
Instagram bio. But
Okay.
after
Okay.
that, it
Okay.
says
Okay.
stream
I
lick
was just.
back.
I was just
It's just a
context.
little context.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm definitely working on getting back into my rap era
Mhm.
because I definitely feel like I've brought a few different sounds to Cincinnati. You
Mhm.
know, a few artists have brought different sounds to Cincinnati as far as
Mhm.
techno goes, you know, classical, EDM, all of that. Um, but I started out writing music as poetry and then rap.
Mhm.
And that has always been a thing for me. I just have
Yeah.
never found my voice.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna lie, the way people got me fucked up, I feel like I found my voice.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
I got. I'm gonna send you a demo I got. I know you know the artist I work with, Gray. Which I think Gray's great. She's got. I'm ready when she's able to really fully commit to work. Then we'll be able to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I wrote a hook for her that she performed, and we recorded at If We Die Studios. I'd love to send it to you because it's kind of that what you just said. You got me fucked up. And the hook is about, oh, you wanted my attention? Well, now you fucking got it. Like, say,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's
Exactly.
with us. It's like people think that their status or whatever it is, like, or just their presence, be like they think people are beneath them, and that's like what?
They do. And I will say there was a point in time where like like everybody hits rock bottom and
Yeah,
being in my 20s not really knowing how life works, I hit rock bottom and a lot of my friends were in the creative space, you know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I definitely felt like they found enjoyment in the fact that I was hitting rock bottom.
Yeah,
It was
and I,
very
and I
it
get
was a very weird experience.
Yeah, I can get that too, and especially if like you go like you have a beef with one of them, and then they want to bully you on the internet, I'm not like saying I'm like this fighter or anything, but like I'm gonna see you again. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right?
you do, you're not gonna say shit because this is a public space and we all got shit to lose, and this is why there's never progress in an actual conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not one of your disciples or your fucking followers that where you snap fingers and we just mentally know what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that
Right.
shit. You know what I mean? Use your words or shut the fuck up. Frankly,
Just shut the
like you know
fuck
what I'm
up.
saying?
Like literally.
like on some other shit. But so what? So you said you're taking a pause from performing like live right now. Is that what?
Yeah, so the last time I decided to perform live,
Mm,
I ran into a really weird situation
okay.
and
You want to
I've
touch
been
light on
seeing
it?
the oh, okay. Well, actually, yeah, I do.
Then do
I
it.
do want to touch light on it because I've been trying to understand this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was dealing with somebody. He'll say it's not serious. They'll say it's not serious. But I feel like whenever you're actually, um, because like how you said, people come and go in your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you choose to allow people to stay,
Yeah.
you're going. I feel like you're gonna care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
When
course.
you try to put effort into getting to know someone and stuff like that, you create an attachment.
Yeah.
And the last time I performed, I learned that I was being talked about. I learned that my truth was being distorted and
Mm-hmm.
all this other shit. And it was by a friend
Yeah.
that I deemed a close friend because of how I operate. But I realized that just because I'm more introverted and I don't really talk to a lot of people, that doesn't mean that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people, it just left a really bad taste in my mouth
Yeah.
because I don't know. It really it because it inspired me to make
Don't
lick
hold back
back.
now.
I mean, I don't know what you want to know specifically,
Whatever
but
you are comfortable with talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, why did it make you feel that way? You know what I'm saying? And why?
oh, okay. So I'll tell you. So I was like, okay, I'll tell you. So, anyways, yeah. So after my performance, which I was really important. It was really important for me for Syria Money to see my performance
Yeah, Siri's
because
great.
she is great, and I've actually seen what she does for the community, and I've
Yeah,
definitely been
she's.
wanting to link myself into
Hmm.
that community or that side of it
Yeah,
because it aligns with some of my beliefs. But
yeah. She's a
it
little
was so
upset with me
embarrassing to
right
me
now.
because I was having a very intimate situation
Hmm.
occur, and I was trying to ignore this person,
Hmm.
but at the same time it was pissing me off
Hmm.
because they were trying to ignore me as if they didn't know me.
Oh,
And that's when I knew
I think I
that
might
there
know who
was
this
some
is.
fucking drama going on. I
Okay.
walked out of there and I was like, hey, you. Yeah, you. Why are you acting so fucking funny? And then after that, it
Mm.
exploded into something different. And I think it was just the betrayal of having a friend um, talk about you badly, to someone else to make them feel less insecure or better about themselves and
Yeah.
where they stand. And I think that, the embarrassment or the public humiliation of everyone hanging around each other, because I see it on the internet,
Hmm.
hanging around the person that betrayed me in such an intimate and physical way
Yeah.
that is in the creative community, I can't do that. And I get it that there are a lot of, like, in the industry,
Hmm.
people hang around each other a lot because we're doing the same things, we're probably
Hmm.
going to the same places. It just wasn't for me at the time.
And that's fine. That's the thing about those things is you can remove yourself whenever you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of time you don't necessarily forget it, but the majority of people will forget it shortly thereafter. And that's good and
It's
bad. That's
the
good
thing.
and
It's the
bad.
thing of me not forgetting. It's me not forgetting the fact that people heard what happened.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole Cassie situation, right? There are still people
Yeah.
that support Diddy and probably put money on his books after hearing
Fuck
what he
Diddy.
did.
Sorry.
Yeah, but there are people that act
Yes,
like
you
that
are
within the
correct.
industry, within the city, within friend groups who will hear that, oh, this guy abused you. Oh, this guy did this to you. Well, yeah, he's still my friend though. And
Yeah.
that's very uncomfortable to deal with in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, and I,
Yeah.
I get that. Like, Siri's a little upset with me right now. For
Oh,
whatever.
really? Why? Oh my God, T.
I mean, all you got to do is you're not on Facebook, are you?
I have Facebook, but I'm not on it a lot now.
So there was an exchange between me and I guess someone that's like deep in her inner circle. And I don't even want to say his name. I mean, I will, but I feel like I'll just be riling it back up. Like we just had a difference of opinion, and I expressed how it made me feel. I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't this and that, and it was like, Dane, who are you to have the audacity to say anything about this person? And it was like, the fuck do you mean? Like this person is constantly saying disparaging things about white people and this and that. Yeah, openly.
The race. So okay, for the racism, right? I think that that's exactly how I feel when it comes to women supporting other women in this community.
Yeah.
I will say 100% in Cincinnati, with all of the female shelters, with all of the domestic violence abuse protests, with everything else that people want to performatively do, when you actually see a woman deal with a man who is disrespectful to her, right?
Yeah.
Who is trying to hold it all together,
Mm-hmm.
right? You'll still have women fuck with that guy,
Yeah.
actually accept that guy, support that guy. And that's
And they'd
exactly
be
what
like, well,
happened to
they never
me.
did it to me yet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they
Yet.
never did it to me. It's like, and it's like, honestly, I do believe in karma. Everything comes back around. How you said earlier that people are going to be the same. Just because he had the opportunity to do it to me doesn't mean there's no opportunity for you to actually get that back.
Yeah. And I,
And for the people that don't go through negative things towards the people that do negative things to others, you're associated with somebody who carries around negative energy.
okay.
It's gonna look on, it's
I,
gonna sit on
I
you.
hope this isn't. It's not John, is it?
John?
Carlos.
John Car-
No, the
No!
situation you're talking about. Okay, because I was like, I hope not. I love that
No,
guy.
it's revolutionist.
Okay. Sorry. I was just making sure because I was like, I've just seen you interact with a few artists. Not saying that I'm saying you slept with him or anything like that. It's just that was just me
Oh no, and by the
taking.
way, I haven't. I
Yeah,
haven't, John.
I just took a guess. But to go
Mhm,
back to that, and I love Siri. She knows how I feel
mhm.
about her. And that's what I was saying earlier, alluding to that is like we were fans of each other. I because as much as they do, and unfortunately I can't sing or rap, but I do make an impact in the music scene, and you can't tell me I don't. You know what I mean? So for her to just be like, "I'm done with you," that I mean, yeah, it hurt my feelings, but like I'm not. It's the third time now in less than a few months that like Siri, I'm always in the wrong, and all I'm doing, I'm not being disrespectful. I just express something. One thing was about my drug use and like stuff like that, and I'm like, Siri, this is none of your business. Like, I have a plan. You know what I mean? And if you truly cared, and you're gonna be this accountability person, but how I took it is, you guys called me out, you outed me. People that knew me really, knew what I was going through. It's not something I've hid, but like you outed me. Half of my artists that were supposed to go to Florida fell out because they were contacted by certain individuals within your camp, and I had worked for 6 months for that. I let that slide, and then I paid you 6 months ago for a song um, that never got completed, and you're just giving me the jerk around, and then I say something about how one of your friends made me feel and continuously makes me feel, and now you don't want any association with me. First of all,
And see,
I
and
didn't know you had someone to answer to like that.
and you know what's crazy is that that's literally been my experience, and I'm so glad that you said that because it makes me feel more comfortable to start like telling my truth a little bit
Yeah,
and how I've been jerked around because um the whole reason I stopped going to Dead Ridge, because I know you were asking me,
yeah,
like, hey, come to Dead Ridge, complete the song. I never had an issue with completing the song with you.
yeah,
Now, the situation with like Fame and you texted me and everyone texted, because mind you, you don't know, but
yeah.
everyone was texting me saying, are you all right? Are you all right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was so exposing for me because I had
Yes.
just had a C-section. I was pregnant before that time, for the past 8 months, and I was pregnant by the guy who's being accepted in the community now. And he abandoned me. I had a conversation with him and I told him, if you don't want to be a father, then I'm going to have to opt for adoption because I cannot take care of this child by myself. He told me he didn't want to co-parent and he wanted to go talk to other women, and that's what he did. He dated other people in the creative space. And it was so hard for me to be around them
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I was healing from a C-section. Like when you saw me in Vic's rooftop bar,
Mm-hmm.
I still had my C-section scar healing
Jesus
and nobody
Christ.
knew.
You looked amazing.
And he was there.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that. Now I don't want. Now I
it
can.
was it was a lot for
Now
me.
you're gonna
But
make
I
me. When we get
still
done with this, I'm gonna be looking at footage like, just taking guesses. I don't. That's your business. I don't. I don't care if
but
you want to
either way,
expose them
I
or
will
not.
say
That's
that
up to you.
I
Oh,
went through a lot.
yeah.
There was even a rumor that I killed my baby. Oh my god, it was so much,
What?
right? And that, yeah, yeah.
That is not
So
acceptable.
there was so much that I went through emotionally by myself.
Yeah.
There were so many men who said they were cool with me, who didn't want to fuck on me, who then like kind of switch. It was just a lot. And you can't really put too much on men because men are going to be men. But at the same time, the females that I decided to confide in at the time,
Yeah.
I think that they presented themselves as like martyrs and oh, I love
Yeah.
women, but y'all don't really care. And I think that for my business to be out there and no one's else business was out there as much as
Yeah.
mine was, and I don't even talk to anybody, that was very insulting,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me step away from the music scene. When I went back to Dead
Yeah.
Rich, I was talking to Rec Pack, which is one of the engineers that everybody knows.
Yeah.
I told you that I didn't want to be around him.
Yeah.
I tried to tell Fame about it. He kept telling me, because I remember posting on my Instagram
Mm-hmm.
very heavily religious, like Christian posts saying, like, I rebuke the devil. I am not
Yeah, I remember this.
associated with any of
Yeah.
that, right? So he was DMing me on the back end saying, "Oh, you want to take those down?" And it
Who
made me feel
Fame
very
was?
uncomfortable. Yeah, he was like, "You want to take those down because it's like you're attacking us," and it made me feel very uncomfortable because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, and um Reg Pack tried to DM me, but honestly, the only reason I don't fuck with him anymore is because we've had multiple conversations of him
Yeah.
crossing a boundary for me,
Yeah.
and he wanted to do it again, and that's what he did. And he knew that I was in a very
Vulnerable state.
like vulnerable position, so it
Yeah.
was just like, well, if you don't care, which he said before, he doesn't really have a lot of feelings. He's a
Mm-hmm.
very like empty person because we've had that personal relationship before.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily romantic, but I when I was in between homes, I had to stay at the studio.
Yeah.
And people were trying to make up lies saying that me and him were together, and we weren't.
Yeah.
No, he was just my friend,
Mm-hmm.
genuinely helping me. So when he did all that, I found it to be very like a heavy betrayal for me. To give
Right.
people the footage and to do all this extra shit was just very weird.
Yeah.
So I just stopped coming around at all.
Yeah.
And even with like the tapped a part of it, I went on a hike with them to, I think it was Hocking Hills, I don't know.
Hocking
But
Hills
we
is beautiful,
all
by the
took
way.
a trip. You said what?
Hocking Hills is one of my favorite places in Ohio, by the way.
Yeah, we
It's
we went on a
gorgeous.
trip. It was great. I loved hanging around them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But even they had their own little messy situation going on. And the reason, so I made a post,
Mm-hmm.
and one of Tap Dub, he was there my performance at the Artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He pulled me aside one day and he was like, "Oh, you said something about tap on that. Was that about us?" And at the time I was 5 to 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be confronted with some shit that I posted months ago.
Yeah.
So I told him no, it wasn't about you. But in reality, yes, it was,
It was.
because I pulled him aside and I was like, "Hey, um, I would love to work with you and stuff like that." And basically what Siri did to you, he kind of like put me on a back burner, and I genuinely feel like the way that he was talking in one of my studio sessions about women and how he feels about them, how they're hoes and how,
Yeah.
fuck that bitch and da da da. I feel like he was looking for access to maybe use me as a
Mm-hmm.
hoe, or maybe get something out of me, or maybe he thought I was like a dancer or whatever he thought, um and that I wasn't going for that, and
Yeah.
so he just backed up off of me because he
Yeah.
couldn't come to my house, he couldn't
Yeah.
flirt with me. It was just that I really wanted to do business with him, and he just wasn't interested. So I was
Yeah.
just like, honestly, instead of coming to me as a man and saying, "Hey, I'm not interested in business," I'm seeing you actively ignore me and pretend that I don't exist. So tap on that.
Yeah.
Now, I think that people just take shit too serious as far as
Yeah.
like your personal life. Nobody should know my personal life. Nobody should know. So
Well,
I think,
here's the
yeah.
thing. Here's the thing, and that is like I'm not. I've talked about my addiction issues in the past. I've talked about. I'm a pretty open book. I mean, Just scroll down my page. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think what bothered me, and again, I'm going to pretext this because when this comes out, Siri, I still think you are one of, if not the most talented artists that I personally know in Cincinnati. Okay? Personally. I think a lot of people would say that. I think the work that you do in the community is a blessing. You know, the drive that you do, the donation, the potluck for the people. I think that is beautiful, and I think that's amazing. I think that, you know, when the open mics that you do, when they're ran correctly, are a great opportunity. Uh,
Awesome.
I do, and I want to say that first. And you know what? And whether I no longer have her support or not, she will continue to have mine as a fan because I am a fan of her and what she does, and she's a vibe. You know what I mean? She's a vibe. But I think what bothered me is like, you know, you've overstepped in when it comes to me a couple times, and the moment that I do it, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? I mean, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's not fair, and I can have it. I don't understand like what happened to adults. So when go to therapy, they say when something bothers you, or you feel some type of way, share that, and that's and then have a discussion like adults, and then that's how you fix it and grow from it. Um, and I don't understand unless you know maybe that you guys weren't really fucking with me from the beginning.
Genuinely think, can I call you Dane?
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. On here it's
Okay, no. I
Dane.
didn't know if you went. I think you said you went by a
Diggity,
different name.
diggity, Dean Dane
Yeah,
Sampson. Dean Sampson is
Sam.
has become my Dean Sampson's become my producer name.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just Dane.
Okay.
Diggity
Well,
makes me
Dane,
sound cool. You go ahead.
I will say in Cincinnati so far, I've actually been had the opportunity to date outside of my race.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely dated black men, white men, Hispanic
Mm-hmm.
men, and I will say since in Cincinnati, even growing up in the black community, I think that the people here are um, cognito racist.
I felt reverse
Incognito racist.
racism because when we were having that exchange, all of a sudden it's I'm a white lame and I'm
Yeah.
like a culture vulture and like
Yeah.
and I'm like
I feel like
the
a lot
fuck.
of black people here are, and there's a space in the black community in general where they have this indoctrination that stops them from actually being the people that they say that they are. If you're a person that loves, if you're a person that accepts, if you're a person that supports, you can't be a racist at the same time
Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense. You're a
yeah,
living, walking contradiction. And that's why so many people will go out of their way to like attack and defend and do all this jump through these hoops. Like that's another reason why I stepped away from the creative space
hmm
is because there are so many racists. Like even at my job, there's this black guy. He's
By the
coming up
way,
to
I'm
me.
I'm
He's like,
not calling them racist. I'm just saying,
"No, they're
but
not racist." But I'm saying that there are so many racists.
yeah.
There's a black guy at my job. That I have a white coworker. She's
hmm
beautiful, beautiful lady. She's very kind.
hmm
Um, very very kind. And he's just going into like white devils and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, I
No.
don't want to have that conversation because while there are bad black people, there are bad white people, there are bad
Yeah.
Hispanic people, and there's bad people everywhere. But I'm not going to be ignorant and focus on someone who I've never met
hmm
who's racist towards me
Yeah.
because the people that are white that you're talking about who are in my face right now are very kind
hmm
and they're just who they are.
Yeah.
And I just think that like yeah, the culture in hip hop to I think people are stuck in the 90s or
hmm
80s
Yeah.
as far as like, how we weren't allowed to express,
hmm
you know, the certain aspects of culture without like being cooned and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now like Koreans, white people can wear grills and talk like
Yeah. I'm
this
getting the
and use
bottom one
exotics
soon. I'm getting the bottom one soon. My
and
tooth is crooked
nobody.
now, and I want to fix it. So I'm getting the
I
grill.
think I think nobody really like talks bad on people that have adopted hip hop culture
hmm
or black culture. And I think that's where the hate comes from.
Well, here's the
But at the
thing.
same
Here's the
time,
thing, though. For me, Just a little bit about my background. I didn't adopt hip hop
Yeah.
culture. I was raised in like at second grade. I went to Bramble Elementary. I was the only white person in the school, including teachers. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So like for me, it's like I'm not. This is just who I am. This is the culture and community that I've raised up in. Why do I gotta always be addressed as a guest? And I used to say that. Oh, I'm a guest in it. No, this is just a part. I'm just as much a part of this as you are. Period. You know what I mean? Why? Why? If you want to segregate it, and then don't act like you're all inviting all the time if you're really not.
Exactly.
You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
don't I think what they're doing genuinely, this is what makes it like disingenuous. It's like you're trying to use the exposure that you think that other races get
Yeah.
and the respect that other races get when in reality you're not giving it back. It's just like that's
Yeah.
not how things work.
I had an
It's just not
instance.
how things
Yeah,
work.
I had it, and I'll touch base on that, and that specifically for that. I had a little short relationship with Net Cincy, um, and we did two pilot episodes for a music review show, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to be controversial and this and that," and I was like, this is a music review show that we're painting to. Like what? It's like the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do. Now, like McNiff, Fleet, I respect. They are well established veterans. They have money. They do give a platform. It just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to go deeper than that. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, and then sometimes when it should go deep, that's just my instance. I wish them all the best of luck. I think what they're doing is great.
It
They are
is.
very unapologetic. Um,
Very.
very,
I love it.
and I love it. And it's just for me at that time, it wasn't. I didn't feel it was a right fit. You know what I mean? And because I have my own platform and like my likeness and what I do, I want to have some kind of control over that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be at the point where I'm just like, hey, do whatever because for attention, so we can. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm not. I'm doing it on a volunteer basis. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me controlling my likeness, and my brand. I
Exactly.
am gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna give you a moment. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in like 1 to 2 minutes. But just be Malace and talk to the audience for a minute. Just talk to the camera. Say whatever you want. This will be a great reel and soundbite. I'll be right back.
So hey, motherfuckers. Yeah, like I was saying, I do think a lot of people um in this hip hop community in the Cincinnati area, I think that maybe, you know, we're just not culturally. I think when you let monocultural um behavior seep into the public space, you cut yourself off from a lot of opportunities and you need to like wake up and you know
I have no idea
be
what you're saying.
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead. Keep
Go
talking.
ahead. No, I was speaking on monocultural like ideals, right? I think that you are cutting yourself off. Like when you have that in public, you're
Mm-hmm.
cutting yourself off from a lot of opportunities. And I think that there's a lot of talent here and they gatekeep themselves because they feel seen or heard within certain cultures and on others. But it really they need to understand that it's all mental. Like
Yeah.
you're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
You're making up these false stories about people who aren't even thinking about you,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh yeah, well he don't like me because he's white, or she
Mm-hmm.
don't like me because I'm black, or this is."
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Right.
You really have to put yourself out there. Like if I had that same idea, I wouldn't have went to Vic's rooftop bar,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. If I was like, oh yeah, the dude that I was dealing with, yeah, he's
Yeah.
there, he's telling my business, and I'm just embarrassed, and I would have never met Ria Bella. I would have never met. Shout out to Yurdi,
I love
um,
Yurdy.
on
I love
Instagram.
Yurdy.
Yeah, there was so many thoughts that I could have had as
Mm-hmm.
far as like, oh yeah, I can't do this, I can't do that, da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
not how life works.
and also from that, the gentleman that I got into it with, you know, I knew what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like by calling it out, and honestly, for me, it just exposed a lot of people that weren't ever really fucking with me. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Mhm.
it also showed me, reaffirmed the power that I have because I make reels all day and they do decent numbers. But when I take the time to type something out, it causes a reaction. And that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. They're like, damn, he called him out by name? And that's what I said for people, the audacity. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just
Why would
like,
I
girl, you
vaguely
did it. Did you not?
why would I vaguely talk about it? But what I am saying is like the individual was talking about. I don't think why would this white the next day it kept going. I stopped reading it. Finally, I just don't follow them because why, why do we need to?
It's another thing too. I was so surprised that after Reg Pack had made a big fuss
Mm-hmm.
about that to Fame,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going back and forth with Fame, like, bro, just mind your fucking business, to be honest, because I don't want to talk about my personal life with you. I didn't say that to him, but it was just like, you have a whole girlfriend, a whole family situation, whatever you got going
Yeah.
on. I genuinely feel like if I'm telling you that I'm fine, you need to just leave it alone. And the fact that it got messy like that, I had Siri watching me. I posted on my story because what Reg Pack said was, I played an audio of Too Rich Benji's song,
Yeah.
and on that song, there's like whispers and stuff like that before the beat drops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess because I didn't feel comfortable around Reg Pack, it felt ominous to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell
Fame.
Fang.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I didn't believe Rec Pack. So I was like, well, publicly, since Rec Pack is going to publicly make this a big thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I would have just left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Too Rich Benji what song that was.
Yeah, remix it.
And I mean, I guess so. But I wanted to know for myself. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and after that, they were watching my stories and stuff.
Well,
And it
and
was
that's what I'm
just
saying
like
too. So
I had Max, one of the videographers that I was really hoping to work with, because I met him on the set of another artist's video shoot with
mm-hmm.
Lucid.
Mm-hmm.
I really was looking forward to working with them. He DM'd me talking about, keep Too Rich's name out your mouth, keep Rec Pack's name out your fucking mouth. This is that.
Damn. It's
That
aggressive.
was very aggressive, very weird. He was
Yeah.
texting me like, "Oh, do you have a mental illness?" I was just like, "This is too much for me," because I didn't
You
say
know what I would have
anything.
told him? Yes, I do, and I forgot to take my medicine today. You better watch the fuck out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, absolutely not. Like, no,
Yeah.
And so I had ended up blocking him, and then I found out like Siri. I thought we were following each other. I was following a lot of people.
Hmm.
They unfollowed me.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing
You
too.
know.
So like, they might after this interview, but like, who cares? I
Oh
don't
well,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, y'all. Like, first of all, I'm down here in Florida.
I
I'm
don't
trying.
either.
I'm trying to work with Cincinnati as best I can, and no, my point is, the individual that I got into it with, he was like, I don't say this often, or I don't really believe in cancel culture, but we should cancel this guy. And I'm like, cancel me for what? Y'all act like, what are you canceling me from? Life? Are you gonna cancel me from life? And I think they expect, and none of them even unfollowed me. So like, actually, I gained 72 followers. Um, and I was surprised the amount of people that were reaching out to me both publicly and privately. Like, hey, this is you're not. A month ago when he was helping y'all out, and he was doing this, and he was like the great white hope. Now he had a disagreement with somebody, and he's like a white loser. Not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. And like, but here's the thing. That's the great thing about technology. If you don't like what I'm saying or what you're seeing on my thing, you can unfollow. But typically, your biggest haters or disbelievers are truly your biggest fans, to be honest.
I mean, you know how that works.
You
You
know
know how
how
that
it
works.
works. So
Yeah.
let's do. I'm gonna play. You want to play a game?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I have an affinity, and my favorite, truly my favorite genre of music is power ballad singing divas. Okay.
Okay.
I love a power ballad from a diva. Okay. So we're gonna play a game called Blind Top Five. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard this premise before. You're on social media. So what it is I'm gonna That's what it's going to be. I'm going to ask you to rank these divas 1 through 5. Okay. When I
Okay.
say one, you got to rank them 1 through 5. If you rank them at three,
Okay.
3 is locked, but you don't know what name's coming next, and you cannot change them.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
we're going to call it the Blind Top 5 Power Divas. Okay. We are going to start out rank 1 through 5. Whitney Houston.
4.
Ooh. Okay. Celine Dion.
5.
Ooh. Mariah Carey.
3.
Ooh. Beyonce.
Damn, I really want to know this. I really want to know the second name. Oh my god. Oh shit. They're gonna hate me. 1.
At number 1.
Mhm.
And your number 2 pick is Adele.
Yeah, I think that's the list for me.
Honestly, not bad. I was a little. So you actually named that really well. I was hoping Adele's my favorite of all time. I will tell you. Let's say so. Number 5, you had Celine Dion. At number 4, you had Whitney Houston. At number 3, you had Mariah Carey. At number 2, you had Adele. And you had at number 1, you had Beyonce. And I think what the difference was, they were just one. They only had one name, and that's who should be the best. Like Malice. Uh, but I will tell you. So
Right.
when Adele's 21 album came out, so unlike you, set fire to the rain.
Loved it. Yes.
Me and my son's mother had just separated, and I went, from living with this family unit, and I had this guy named Nick Wetz, and now I'm gonna age myself a little bit, but this is when people were still burning DVDs. Okay.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, so he I don't know, it was a weird gift to give to another guy, but he was like, Dane, I know you really love Adele. And I was like, I do love Adele. He's like, so I burnt you her live concert from Royal Albert Hall, which is like the most
Mhm.
famous venue in England. Um, and I was like, amazing. And so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So for the next 3 months, it was summer. It was just me at home, alone in the dark with a blanket, a bottle of wine, and my fireplace, just singing and crying to Adele to learn how to, because she would really bring that emotion out of you. So we just cried for a whole summer, and it took me 6 months to turn fucking feelings back off and be a man again. But it's just a funny story, and that's the power of music. You know what I mean? If you really
Right.
want to break it down. Adele, where can we find you? Adele, we can find you in England. Malaise, where can we find you?
You can find me actually. So I've been releasing music on United Masters, so I am on all platforms.
Yeah.
But you can find most of my activity on Instagram. I do
Mm-hmm.
want to start a YouTube channel, but I'll announce that on my Instagram. But yeah,
Okay.
find me at only.malace
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram.
Yep.
Also you can find me on Bigo. I love to live stream on Bigo, love to troll, love to have a good time. My name is Malace on there, but my ID is Katie's World. If you want to
Katie's
find me
World?
specifically, yeah,
Is
it's
that your
Katie's World.
government?
I know. I don't do my government.
Oh, we just learned today. I just had a joke about that earlier, and I found it from the interview I did with Pressure Session at Radio Artifact, and it was like I didn't emails expose so many government names. You know what I mean?
Don't they?
So many. I'm like, I thought you were Trilla Killer from Manila, and you're just George.
George. Like literally. Like literally.
Yeah. So, tell me if I got this from Raya Bella. I'll give her props. If you could compare your music to any type of food, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I would compare my music to a bag of Skittles.
Okay, taste the rainbow.
I feel like low key, all of them taste the same,
They do.
but
But if you
they're different
imagine,
colors.
okay, yeah,
So
I like that. I like that.
yeah.
And then something I like to ask people for people that don't know Malays, why should they know Malays? And then why shouldn't they forget Malays?
Ooh, okay. I feel like I do. I feel like it's because I'm real. I think that people love real people. I
Mm,
think that people appreciate people that they can relate to, and that's my whole purpose of doing all of this. Um, I initially just wanted to make friends, I
mm,
think, and I realized that I had, you know, a niche that I
mm,
liked a lot, which was music. And then through making friends, I learned how to write songs, and
mm,
then I learned about beats, and it just molded me into somebody who was able to
yeah,
fine tune what I had already worked with.
mm,
And I think that at the end of the day, like I want to also be somebody that brings people together that can not just have like this clean like slate of us like, oh, we're just this one type of people. No, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be. You can think whatever the fuck you want to think. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say, because at the end of the day, it's not about who likes you or who who accepts you. It's more so I want to be able to build a community myself where people find joy in community and accepting themselves. Because I feel like once we accept like who we are individually, I'm not one of those people that would be like the world would be a better place. I think that people will be able to just move how they need to, and there will
mm,
be less arguments. There will be less just trouble in general. Like you're gonna find your people if you feel
yeah,
confident in being who you are.
yeah,
You have to have a space for that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I love that answer. I love that answer. This has been a really great conversation. I'm sure it's gonna ruffle some feathers, but like I said,
Oh my god, it better ruffle some fucking feathers, because honestly, I am the type where I want to address it.
yeah,
I
I
don't want
do
to keep
too.
I want the silent beef. I want to address that shit. Like at the end of the day, I came on this scene, I don't have an issue with anybody. I see everybody else talking
Yeah,
about, or reposting,
yeah,
I don't want drama. I don't mess with people that don't mess with me. Well, bitch, why you don't mess with them? What the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, let us know why you
Like,
don't mess with them. You know what I mean? And you know
yeah,
what? If I'll mess with whoever I want, but I understand if not. And if it's a close enough friend and they're like, hey, this is what it is, then sometimes you
exactly.
do have to pick a side. But I feel like that is forced too much when it shouldn't be. This picking side shit. Um,
I feel
and
like people should just speak up.
here's the thing:
Just
if
speak.
I would say this on this, if they start exposing me, I have an episode. Because they can't expose me, you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, that they're like, "Oh, he's acting brand new." I have an episode in my vault from Galaxy that we did an interview in that space talking about these exact same fucking things. Okay, this is how much they do not pay attention to what's going on right the fucking front of them. Okay, so I'm just saying I got that in there. I'm trying to save it
Oh my
for.
god, Jane. Also, this is my first like interview. Like,
Okay.
oh, I'm so nervous. I'm like, oh my
Okay,
god.
so that's why I talked to you about it first. Don't there's gonna there's gonna be positive and negative feedback to the content that we have discussed. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh my god.
yeah,
What the hell? People probably gonna make memes like, oh, look at
yeah.
this dusty bitch. But I'm not. Look, I
Shit,
want
run
to
my
say.
algorithm up.
I want to say that I don't have any issues with anybody,
No,
but
neither
I
do
will
I.
say that I am not afraid to speak the truth about my
Correct.
experience.
Yeah,
It is what it is. If
yeah.
you didn't, I will say to anybody that I have spoken on, if you didn't intend to make me feel that way,
Hmm.
I accept that.
Correct.
If your intention was to just be yourself and that's just how life lined up, I
Hmm.
accept that.
Yeah,
But I also want space to speak on what I experienced too.
yeah.
That's it. No argument, no
Same,
shade, no none of that. If you're
same.
still shading me, bitch, you're a hater.
Yeah.
You're a hater.
Hater. I will tell you, I need to get a new headset. I realize I look like a Wendy's drive-through worker that's about to ask you
No,
for.
literally like, hello,
Yeah,
what's your
you
order?
you want the $5 biggie bag today? But I am Diggity D Dane Sampson. This is the Interview Podcast 513. These full episodes will be available on YouTube as well as Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and every major streaming platform. This is only Malays, the one and only. This is Malice. I'm gonna go listen to Burn. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna have the episode. We can talk a little bit after off air. And folks, that's a wrap. Say bye, Malice.
Bye.
Ooh.